go. Miles gonna bring it out. He is met hard at the 15-yard line. Ball's on the ground. Broncos come up with it. And they've been waiting to hit somebody else all summer long, Petros.
I think it's Cromwell to the 27. Yeah, right there with the big hit.
First play, they're going to go to the air, looking left side, got him! The Broncos with the completion, the first play of the game to Talik Williams.
With Talik Williams, what a throw.
35-yard gain for the Broncos, fresh set of downs in plus territory. 2nd and 6 for the Broncos. Jones rolling to his right, has time, finds a receiver. Once again, it's Williams. Touchdown maker. Keep an eye on him as they are clearly not afraid to go to the air here. Going to tuck it and run. Is Brady Jones making his first career start. Do keep it on the ground, met in the backfield right away. Brady Kelly, the defensive tackle, and Florida State transfers there. Early test for the Michigan State defense here, 3rd and 5 for the Broncos. Down to the 25-yard line, the defense answers the call. Eaton first man there. Jones gonna throw, looks right side. And lucky that wasn't picked off. Ade Willie in coverage for the Spartans. Makhi Frazier getting the start at running back. And here's Frazier. Up the middle.
Now they're in the eye.
Tolis and Jay Coyne. Quick pass out to the left side. That is caught. And that's a first down for Omari Kelly. Miles looks to throw, then he does. Pass complete to the left side. Here's Marsh. There's Frazier tripped up as he gets through the hole. Going to be short of the first down. Dame Tucker got a hand on him. Takes the handoff to Tolis, completes it outside. Fakes the handoff to Tolis, pressure coming. And Childs continues to look downfield, has it, man! Oh, over the arms of the intended receiver.
Just a little bit of miscommunication on the personnel out there as to how to throw that ball.
On 2nd and 10, keeping it on the ground.
If he's anything like Derwin James, I like the Broncos defense this year.
Yeah, I think they're in pretty good shape. Keep it on the ground again, room for Frazier! Inside the 20-yard line, dragged down at the 16. Jay Coyne once again in at fullback, lining up in front of Frazier. The toss to Frazier. Big Brandon Tolis checking in at tailback, goes 6'1", nearly 230 pounds. He's the hammer for this offense. And here's Tolis putting his head down. First touchdown of the season for the Spartans, courtesy of Brandon Tullis.
And Connor Moore, the transfer from Montana State at right tackle. Well done.
Keep your eye on the operation here. Blake Sislow up and good.
Yeah. Well, he's got the cutoff sleeves on the sweatshirt and then kind of like the form fitting so he can look extra swole.
Ball returned out to the 20-yard line. Another big hit.
Buckley a little bit, but not enough if you're a Western Michigan fan.
And keep it on the ground on first down. And
there's last year's starter, Brock Lowry, yeah.
And again, that's Williams going in motion. And that's where they go. And Williams picks up the first down. Here's Miles, and there's nowhere to swallow it up by that. Quick pass again. That's going to pick up a couple, sets up 3rd and long, and it's Talik Williams. So the long and short of it, we're looking at 3rd and 9 for Brady Jones and the Broncos. Empty set for Jones. Climbing the pocket, ball's out. Jones jumps back on it. It was Enelu Lefele who got a hand on it.
He gets that paw out and slaps the ball. Look at that. Yeah, gets that ball out. What a play. Rushing the passer from Lefele, and that's a position that they're really looking for people to step up.
Ryan Milmore punting to Kelly. So Michigan State looking to add to their lead. Frazier in the backfield once again. Play action. Childs looking over the middle. And he got his man. Picked up 14 on that one. Keeping it on the ground here are the Spartans.
Krishan McCray, a slot guy. Evan Boyd with a nice catch radius out of Central Michigan.
Frazier on 2nd and 3. Wrapped up quickly by Dame Tucker. 3rd and 2 to be exact. They might have drawn the Broncos offside. Childs going to take a shot. And we do have a flag down. I think it might have been Dame Tucker who jumped for the Broncos.
Yeah, it looked like Childs knew he had a free play and just slung it out there to the left side.
Defense number 11. 5-yard penalty results in a 1st down.
This is a very talented guy, can play both sides, and that body could bend.
This is Elijah Tolliver, who's wrapped up right away in the backfield by the safety Joey Pope. Nice open field tackle. Childs looking to right side, a little bit high, but hauled in by Omari Kelly. Hayden keeping it himself. Breaks one tackle and cannot elude from the 42. Remember, they're out their 2 best kickers, so that obviously not even close to an option in this situation. Childs going inside again, and once again, it's complete to Omari Kelly. Big 4th down conversion for the Spartans. Childs with a little pump fake. And the flags are flying. Nick Marsh looked to the referee right away.
Talked about him in the open. What a special player he is and how much juice he has in that big
Defense,
body.
number 5. Spot foul. Automatic. 1st down.
Marsh is on the inside there. They run a little combo route. Gets hit there, and then grabbing a hold is Wofford.
Frazier, left side, spins out of 1 tackle, and he's wrapped up at the 15. Kenneth Walker, the last one, of course, playing in the NFL now with the Seahawks. Childs has a man wide open. Masunis, the big back Tullis is in. He scored their 1st touchdown. Childs, pressure coming, lets it go, has a man, touchdown Michigan State, it's Nick Marsh.
His first real impact on this one.
Sislo up and in. Offensively, Michigan State has been fantastic. Beckley kicking off, Miles lets it roll through the end zone. 3rd drive in a row for Brady Jones. Here's Buckley. And nothing going. Malik Spencer, the first guy there, met him right at the line of scrimmage.
See the lack of push that Western is getting.
Jones letting it go up the left side, nothing going.
And their defense is tired. That was only a 31-second drive. That's not good enough, especially with the big back that they have.
Delay a game. Kicking team. 5-yard penalty.
Ryan Milmore to get into one here, a career long of 60 yards. Let's see what he can dial up. Kelly back deep, calls for the fair catch. You would like it. You feel right at home here.
You know, I
Number
mean,
24.
I've been, that makes him free one-on-one coverage. Great for Aiden Childs.
Keeping it on the ground, and the big fella Tullis finds some room on the right side. 2nd and 2. First down, Michigan State. Childs over the middle, and he slants it. Nowhere to go for Childs. He's wrapped up by Dylan Moore. Creeping up on 100 yards here in the first half. Childs looking to go to the air. Pressure coming. They got him. It's Dame Tucker. Broncos looking for a spark, and right now the defense is providing it. Loss of 7 on the sack. It's 3rd and 22. Keeping it on the ground with Frazier. Malik Williams lets the line drive bounce, and that was a mistake. Downed inside the 2-yard line.
My wheels aren't what they used to be. Zeke's looking good.
He looks great. He can jump, and he's probably hitting about 22 miles an hour out there. Buckley alongside Jones in the backfield. Jones looking to throw. Jones down the end zone. It's a safety. Did he get rid of it or not? That's the question.
What happened here, Jones holding it just a little bit too long, as you see Quindarius Dunnigan come in and make that play, and he just gets rid of it at the very last second.
He's on top of a body here, which enabled him to get rid of the ball. 3rd and 9 now for Jones and the Bronco offense. Quick pass, tipped in the air, and it's hauled in, but shy of the first down.
For Lance Taylor's guys on offense.
Kelly back again, calls for the fair catch.
Kelly with a fair catch.
And around the 46-yard line. Well, they certainly like what they've seen from Michigan State thus far. Here's Childs rolling out after faking the handoff to Frazier. He does have some room to run.
Playing really well early.
Quick pass to left side by Childs. And here is that man again, Amari Kelly. Brandon Tullis, the lone back for the Spartans. It's McCray in motion. Pressure coming on Childs. He escapes it, off-balance throw. Did a nice job just getting rid of it. Dame Tucker again providing the pressure. Frazier on 2nd and 10. Makes one man miss, taken down at the 35 by James Camden. You talked about that last decision. I thought you hit the nail on the head. 3rd and 2. Here's Childs, and this is what he does so well. On his own, inside the 10, knocked out of bounds at the 3. Camden again with the touchdown-saving tackle. 26-yard gain ties the longest run of his career. Here's Frazier with some room, stretching into the end zone. Ball's on the ground. Did it cross the goal line first? Indeed it did. Touchdown, Spartans. A 9-yard touchdown run for Frazier.
Kai Frazier going to that right side. Nice block, washing people down by Ramil. Getting good field position and then rolling forward, playing great complementary football are the Spartans in the first half.
True freshman snapper is Jack Wills. The hold is down, and Blake Sislow. So many question marks on this team surrounding the receiving corps, surrounding the offensive line. They attacked it in the portal. Got over 20 portal transfers to come in, and they have all.
For these Spartans, with this talent that we've seen offensively.
Flushed out of the pocket, trouble. 100% of the offensive snaps. 2nd and 10 here. Quick pass is complete. Williams. Empty set for Jones on 3rd and 4. And again. Kelly back. He's going to return this one, has a little bit of room around the right side. Keeps his feet out past the 40-yard line. What can he do?
What do the Spartans do here, Dan? Do they go for the jugular, or do they try to just get a little push?
Well, it looks like they're going to throw it. Pressure coming on Childs. Ball's out. And jumping on the ball is Connor Moore. Second and 27 after the sack. Pressure coming again off the edge, and there is just nothing going for Frazier. 3rd and 32. One would expect Michigan State to be conservative here with 35 seconds left in the first half. And that's exactly what they are, keeping it on the ground. Hard running by Tullis, as he has all game. Kershawn Fisher to Lake Williams, back deep for the Broncos. Kick pushes him back inside the 15-yard line. Jones looking to the left side, safe conservative pass to Buckley. The Broncos would love a miracle here in 15 seconds.
Tall order.
On the board. Yeah, I'd say so. Oh, and it's picked off. Wayne Matthews, the linebacker, giving Michigan State the opportunity to put more points on the board with 10 seconds to go here.
What a nightmare.
Childs looking to the left side. Dumps it off to Kelly. And Kelly from 46 yards out, a line drive, no good for Michigan State. And it does appear that the running game as a whole, at least for now, is back. The offensive line performing well, the quarterback performing well.
And getting hands on Aiden Childs, that's something they're going to have to fix with the fullback back in the game.
And the fullback coin. We've got the I formation and nothing going. Childs going to throw on 2nd and 11. Off the mark. Bringing an extra blitzer are the Broncos. Childs flushed out to his right, looking for his man who's open. Over the head of Krishan McCray.
And Michigan State does not want to come out flat here in the second half and erase a lot of that positivity.
This is Kevin Boone Nelson to receive for the Broncos. Calls for the fair catch late at the 30-yard line.
Get this quarterback going and be aggressive here in the second half and try to get a push on the Spartans front.
Lowry rolling out to his right and just throws it away as there was good coverage there. Lowry looking to throw again, this time deep over the middle. And it's caught! What a tremendous catch!
With the new quarterback.
42-yard gain, biggest play of the game for the Broncos. Lowry buying time. And pressure coming. And the Michigan State defense answers the call here.
Just no momentum.
Just can't get going. 3rd and 12. Lowry fakes the pitch, keeps it himself.
At the end of this drive.
Pressure coming after Lowry again. Has to get rid of it complete. Has to fight for the first down, and it looks like it's going to be short. The MTSU transfer is doing exactly what they expected because they knew this kid was special. Here's Frazier, a little jump cut, finding some room, picking up the first down and then some. No, he did not. Last year, 7 carries, 21 yards, already 13 for 92 here tonight. Good blitz pickup by Frazier. Childs going to tuck it and run himself. And that's another first down for the Spartans. The 1-2 punch of Childs and Frazier on the ground looking pretty good.
By Frazier.
Dame Tucker going to be a problem in the back this year. Tullis does a nice job keeping his feet after initial contact.
On 2nd and 7.
Quick pitch to Frazier. Frazier has some room. not going to get to the line to gain. Micah Davis makes sure of that.
I like the way that he bravely, though, just attacks that crease and just gave up his body, jumped through the crease to get an extra 2 or 3 yards. That forward lean and that forward push means a lot, and they're going fast.
Flag
Too
flying,
fast.
though. 3rd and 2 could turn into 3rd and 7.
Full start. Offense, number 12.
Not likely to be the situation here on 3rd and long. Unless Childs calls his own number, which he does.
Down to the keeper.
Kevin Boone Nelson once again back to receive the Eckley kick. Another nice job by Eckley. It's down to the 1-yard line. For the 2nd time this game, it's been inside the 2. Happy people in Happy Valley hearing you say that tonight, that's for sure. Brock Lowry back in at quarterback. Back against the wall here. Keeping it on the ground and nowhere to go for the Broncos. Spartan D coming up huge. Jalen Thompson leading the way.
Well, the last time that they had Western backed up in the first half, it led to a Michigan State touchdown. This time it leads to a safety, and that is very hard to do. You got a big back, you're into the line of scrimmage, you're a running football team, but you can't get 1 yard.
And the free kick now for Western Michigan. Fielded at the 20-yard line. Out past the 40. Frazier picks up about 4.
See that little cut he made at the line of scrimmage, just a very subtle cut, but he didn't stop his feet. He made that cut as he was going forward, and it doesn't look like much, but you're halfway there almost with 4 yards just because of that little subtle move. See that? Boom, and then right back up the field. Really nice piece of running from an inexperienced back, but having a great night, Makhi Frazier.
And now over 100 yards is Frazier. First career 100-yard game. Keeping on the ground again, and not a lot there for Rodney Bullard.
Yeah, they try to get a little end-around action going. Tate Halleck, too disciplined, the big, good-looking safety. Great-looking Mac safety who started his career at Michigan State. We talked about Tate Halleck out of Grand Rapids.
His dad, Ty, was a fullback at Michigan State, played in the NFL. His sister, second-team All-Big Ten player on the Spartans women's basketball team, so his Michigan State ties run deep, but he has enjoyed his time at Western Michigan. And certainly playing well here tonight. Childs with a clean pocket, lets it go, and just a little too far out of bounds for Evan Boyd.
Evan Boyd's a good-looking player down there on the field, looking really big, 6'3", 203 pounds. And could have made that catch, maybe, probably just a little too far out that time for Childs, who has not been as sharp throwing the ball in the second half. They've run the ball a whole bunch, 47 plays, 31 rushes for Michigan State thus far, really trying to establish themselves on the ground. But the Broncos have forced another punt after the safety.
Boone Nelson back deep. He is driven all the way back into the end zone, bobbles it, picks it up. It's out to the 12-yard line.
But tonight, this place is bustling. The student section.
Finally, a little running room for the Broncos. That's Jalen Buckley with his best run of the game.
That's got to feel good for him. A little late, but good to get those legs going. Not a completely astronomical score that they have to overcome, but they need to get going offensively, and that guy needs to get going. for this offense, or they don't have the weapons they think.
It's like a design quarterback draw. Brock Lowry tackled by Alex Van Sumeren. Brings up second down. We talked about Buckley. He had such high praise from head coach Lance Taylor and just hasn't been able to find a groove. Before that last carry, which went for 12 yards, he had 7 carries for 5 yards in the game.
And it's not like he's doing anything wrong. There's just no running room. He's a big back that needs momentum, and they're just not getting it.
Oh, a little reverse to Leary. And how about that pursuit, like a heat-seeking missile, was Samaj Bridgman.
Bridgman really cleaned that play up. A guy who started his career in Michigan and did the unthinkable and came over to East Lansing, originally out of Philly. This was slow developing, but it looked like they were going to make some hay there. But you see Bridgman come off his block, get ahead of Bosma, and like you said, like a missile, attacks the hip and makes the play. Another 3rd and long for Western.
Jalen Buckley split out wide. Huge 3rd down play for Western Michigan. Lowry decides to keep it himself, has enough for the 1st down and more. As he's out near midfield. Takes a shot from Malik Spencer, but that's what he brings to the table.
Yeah, that guy's a little bit different when he runs the football, stepping through some adversity in the contact zone. Look at him, and look at him get those legs up. Great ball security and acrobatics.
Lowry looking up the right side. Wow. That catch was made, and that was a ridiculous adjustment by Balin Brooks.
Known about Balin Brooks since his San Diego State days. Young man out of Pasadena, and he can roll. And they're proving it now. That's his 2nd big catch.
Oh, bad snap on the ground. Lowry picks it up, just has to get rid of a heads-up play by the quarterback. Let's take another look at that catch.
Well, great job by Lowry running the ball like a champion and then coming back, dropping back and making that throw. As you see, Malcolm Bell probably could have been called for interference there. Balin Brooks fights through the physicality and ends up making the catch. And here's Western Michigan threatening again. But as the field has gotten smaller, they have had some problems, and that negative play, not great.
Oh, another high snap. And here comes the pressure. They got him. Jordan Hall with the sack. And that was all set up by the high snap to Lowry.
Jordan Hall is the man out of IMG Academy, originally out of Fredericksburg, Virginia. Really well-timed blitz, and not the first one he's had tonight. Again, an errant snap that takes the eyes of Lowry away from his progression. And he's not able to see Hall bearing down on him. Michigan State with a nice recovery after giving up 2 chunk plays in the long run and the long throw.
First sack for Hall since his freshman year. Went sackless last season. Might be the best player on this defense. 3rd and 17 for the Broncos. Lowry surveying the field, trying to buy some time. Running out of it, gets rid of it. No go. Childs with time, pass complete. Nick Marsh. Diving for the 1st down, and looks like he has it is Nick Marsh.
Throws to Nick Marsh in a 1st down, like 2 run plays out there, being physical against one guy.
Elijah Tolliver is checked in at running back. Childs looks the other way. Nice job breaking a tackle. It's Marsh. It's Tolliver, and he's met right away. Pressure coming. Childs buying some time, cuts it back up inside, and he's taken down by Saipio at the 40-yard line.
What a great blitz pickup this time by Makhi Frazier. Look at him right there, right into the guts of Tate Halleck, springing Childs. And you look at the left side there, doubling Tucker, getting some extra work on him. And then they blitz Halleck up the middle, but a nice pickup by Frazier, but still they force the punt.
Beckley punting one more time. And into the end zone for Michigan State. And now it's time for the defense as Brady Jones is back in at quarterback, taking a shot. And he is overshooting.
Accomplished there, rebuilding a program that was desolate. His alma mater where he played quarterback.
Flushed out of the pocket, having to keep it himself is Brady Jones. And how he attacked the portal this year to get 23 new players. And some of these guys you've seen already going to be big-time contributors here. As this pass is complete for Western Michigan, first down is picked up. It's Balin Brooks again, who's been the most productive receiver on the field for the Broncos, a gain of 13.
Yeah, early in the game it was Talik Williams, and now it's been Balin Brooks. A big hit there from Matthews, sustained by Brady Jones, who's come in and started slinging the ball. And year one, they had a lot of cleaning up to do. Year two, it looks like they're taking good steps.
Keep it on the ground with Miles.
For causing trouble for their offense in the second half here.
Quick pass by Jones, stretching for the first down is Cade Connolly.
Out of Williamston, Michigan, nice play as they're playing fast.
A little tempo here for Western. And still trying to get on the same page.
Sends a blitzer trying to get after.
Jones lets it go right away. Taking another deep shot. Terrence Marshall, the intended receiver. 6 men on the line of scrimmage. A seventh initially comes up. And kind of a delayed blitz from Michigan State off the left side.
Intentional grounding.
And they called grounding because he never left the pocket. There was nobody over there.
Milmore back to punt for the Broncos. Kelly deep for Michigan State. Calls for the fair catch just inside the 20-yard line. Elijah Tolliver in at running back for the Spartans. And flags flying.
Full start. Offense. 5-yard penalty.
I believe that's their second of the game.
Yeah, they've been moving guys all around, as I mentioned earlier. They have 8 to 9 offensive linemen who they feel like are bona fide starters, and they're trying to find the right mix, the right combinations. They have given up 3 sacks so far tonight. Here's Tolliver with a little room, uses the stiff arm, good tough running. Dylan Moore smacks him out of bounds, but Tolliver, prior to that carry, had 2 for -7 yards on the ground, so he gets 3 back, still in negative territory, but they like to get him in plus territory.
Important for them to get all 3 of their backs positive feelings in this game. They've had the nice touchdown, first one of the game from Tullis, the big back. We featured Frazier and shown all the different good things that he's done, including blitz pickup and saving his quarterback. And it might be Tolliver's time to get a little bit a run right now.
And he is the most experienced of the trio.
Former Sac State Hornet.
Indeed. Plenty of time for Childs, and just off the mark. We've seen him do that a couple of times. That was intended for Amari Kelly.
Childs has just not been as sharp. He could not miss, really, in the first half. This time, bouncing around a little bit, looking around, doesn't move the pocket too much or do anything untoward, but that ball is off the mark to Kelly, and you can see he's saying, I believe, that one's on me.
My bad. 3rd and 12 now for the Spartans. Giles trying to buy some time. Again, wide open, as he has been so often tonight, is Amari Kelly.
Giles pass complete.
That's the kind of creativity you want to see from Giles moving around. And they don't want to curtail that too much, right? You want this guy to be able to use his athleticism, decides to flush out of the pocket, get those legs on the move, doesn't throw it very far across his body. Sees Kelly coming open and delivers that perfectly. Very nice play to bounce back from the errant throw on the play before.
7 catches for 75 yards for Kelly, who's the leading receiver for the Spartans.
Not surprised, are you?
No. He's looked good since the moment he stepped foot on campus. And Tolliver with his best run of the game. Yeah, Kelly, one of those 4 receivers they brought in through the portal. And from the moment he got here, he was just getting open. He just found a way to get open. Experienced route runner. You mentioned MTSU, started at Auburn, so he's been around for a minute.
Yeah, and you know, it's not always where you bring in a transfer and you feel like you really found a diamond in the rough, but that's the situation they found with Amari Kelly. Not to mention the fact that Jonathan Smith and Lindgren's offense is very receiver friendly. They do a good job of balancing things out. It's a great place for the young man.
Elijah Tolliver.
He's just done a lot of great things, and with Nick Marsh on the other side, that's a heck of a duo now.
Giles on the play action, has a man open, flag down there in the secondary. That's Krishawn McCray.
Done that last year.
Defense,
it's a hold on Western Michigan.
That penalty is declined. The result of the play is a first down.
The hold is on Nick Marsh. It's Sims versus Marsh there, and Marsh tries to cross the face of Sims, and he just grabs onto that number 6. You see Giles hang around in the pocket and get it to the slot receiver. McCray, like you said, a guy out of Kent State, a man of action, who has come here to Michigan State and shown off pretty well in camp.
Very familiar with Western Michigan is McCray. Keeping it on the ground again, tripped up before he can get loose. Is Tolliver. Dylan Moore on the tackle.
And I think this was Tolliver's series, but his shoe just came off, so he's got to come out briefly. And the starter, Makhi Frazier, is coming on, along with the fullback, Jay Coyne, who's had a good game as well. And they're using that fullback in some real old school running concepts. You see Tolliver there running in his stockinged foot, but still getting positive yardage.
Keeping it on the ground again. Or not. Faking everybody out. That's Masunis again.
That was a really nice fake because they've been getting that motion of players just flowing to the left side, and Giles comes out to the right. Tight end wide open. Second time that they've targeted Masunis. Jack Velling playing in this game, but still a little beat up. And that's what happens when you have 2 receivers making plays. You're running the ball with efficiency. All of a sudden, the ball starts finding all kinds of different guys, and it creates offensive balance. That's what they're looking for here.
Heck of a play fake there. First down, Frazier. 101 yards before that carry. Let's make it 103. 104 to be exact. His first career 100-yard game. We talked about the fact he just had 7 carries all of last season. So
yeah, he's got to be feeling great about himself and what he can do. You know, you never know how many times you can carry the ball in the game and what load you can actually carry until it happens. And I think all 3 backs for Michigan State have shown themselves off pretty well so far tonight.
Tolis back in the ball game for Michigan State. And we have a penalty flag down.
Full start.
Michigan State. Giles on 2nd and 13. Pressure coming. They got him again. Camden on the sack. That's sack number 4, and Giles slow to get up. that's good news. Big sigh of relief for that entire Michigan State sideline. Western Michigan keeping it on the ground.
And started working out. Looks like he's going to be okay.
Quick pass to the outside is complete. That's Avion Chenault.
Offensively, I think they've played better here in the second half. There's no denying that. The numbers say that as well.
Larry Chase gets rid of it.
Not as much as he's expected to play and be the captain of the defense this year.
Started about 6 games as a freshman, primarily a backup last year, and that is off the hands of Jalen Buckley. And
they have a lot of guys they feel that can play, that they can move in and out of the game.
Lowry looks to the left, keeps it himself, and he's not going anywhere. Isaiah Mua, they call him the Iceman.
Good series recovering from the turnover for the Spartans.
Milmore punting again. A backup that they like a whole heck of a lot.
Yeah, they brought him in last year.
And right up the middle is Elijah Tau Tolliver. Keeping on the ground with Tau Tolliver. And he's gotten a lot of work late in the game. #1 team taking on the defending national champs for just the 20th time. Oh, picked off. It's Tate Halleck taking it to the house in his old stadium. What a moment it must be for that young man. The former Michigan State Spartan spent his first 4 seasons right here in East Lansing.
A great moment for Tate Halleck, who really is the captain of this defense, stepping in front and making a great snag on Alante Brown.
They're going to go for 2. Brady Jones in at quarterback for the Broncos. Jones into the end zone. The intended receiver was Blake Bosma. He was falling down. And has to feel good, not just for Halleck, but for Western Michigan, just to get on the board here. You don't like leaving anywhere with a goose egg. Ball's running around loose, and it looks like Western Michigan may have recovered.
They got it.
Indeed they did, and they're going to have another chance here to potentially get on the board. That was Kevin Boone Nelson on the recovery for the Broncos.
Yeah, this is not the way Jonathan Smith wants his team to finish this game. They've looked a lot better in this one. We saw them work in this yesterday in their walkthrough. That is an odd-shaped ball, and it doesn't always bounce your way. This time it bounces the way. Very nicely done. And a long way to go for the end zone. Remember, their offense has not generated any points in this game.
Back to pass, and again, another miscommunication. It's a very similar situation to what we saw earlier.
They're definitely seeing something different from the perimeter and the pocket.
(23-0) for a long time, and Western Michigan gets on the board.
They
Courtesy of that pick 6. They called grounding, huh?
Yeah, and I mean, there was, I guess, by the letter of the law.
Looked like the receiver just kind of cut off his route.
Yeah, it felt like a miscommunication, but I guess it could still be grounding. Usually you don't see that call.
No, you almost never see that call.
Pereira's in bed getting ready for big noon.
Jones with time. And good pursuit by the defense. Jalen Buckley wrapped up right away by Jordan Hall. Uh-oh. Somebody has a problem with Petros. Mike's still alive.
His voice woke me up. His voice woke me up. Let me sleep, please.
Why'd they call grounding there, Mike?
Because they wanted to wake me up. That's why they called it.
Good job. Love you, Mike. Good scratch.
I'm glad to see Mike still here. It's like a little, where's Waldo? There's Waldo.
Is that an antiquated reference? I'm sorry.
Nobody under the age of 30 knows about where's ball. Taking a shot and defended nicely by Chance Rucker.
Yeah, they brought a safety blitz, Malik Spencer, and that creates the one-on-one situation, which it looks like Jones saw. Throws it up there and gives Chenault a chance, but really well done by the young man out of Denton, Texas, who missed 10 games last year with an injury, Chance Rucker. Thought he should have picked it up, but I thought he did a good job just locating the ball and slapping it down.
Rucker going to be the third cornerback, as you alluded to, missed the vast majority of last season. And it looks like victory formation for Michigan State. And they did, for the most part, what they intended to do tonight.
I think they would have liked to have a cleaner second half offensively. What can you say about the defense? They gave up 0 points and had a safety. Offensively, a little bit more inconsistent, and that's what Jonathan Smith is talking about, consistency. And that means being yourself for 4 quarters. And that eluded them tonight. Give credit to Western Michigan, especially Dame Tucker and Tate Halleck and some other heroes defensively that stepped up and stifled the Spartans late. But I know Jonathan Smith would have liked to have a little bit more of the second half looking like the first half offensively.
They did give up 4 sacks, so there are some things to be cleaned up there. And we talked about this a little bit earlier in the game. A lot of rotation going on that offensive line. They're trying to find the right pairings on the left side and the right side. And you have your right tackle flipping a left tackle, and that's not easy. You know, we talk about that like it's nothing, but it's a very different feel, right?
No, all of it is very difficult, and all of it, trying to build a football team, is a seasons-long process. And I believe for the first game, especially compared to last year, that the people in East Lansing are going to be happy with what they see. This is a bowl team in Western Michigan that's had a lot of success, and they did a great job against what is a very good offense. And for Western Michigan on their side, you know, they really needed to improve on defense. And Chris O'Leary, that D coordinator, feels like a guy who's in the right role. They did a great job on defense.